Hey, today we're going to do a little short video. I just did a mail call video with some of this stuff, like this Epsilon brush container. But this specifically is a video about the brush containers. So we showed you the new one that we got in. Just wanted to compare and tell you some other brush containers that could be helpful to you that aren't specifically brush containers. This one is, and we'll look at it in more detail in a minute. This is a pill bottle, American style. I don't know if they do the same kind of pill bottles in other nations, but this is very common in America with some of the taller type things, and it fits so many brushes very, very well. You just peel off the label so you can see the brush and you're good to go. Plus, this has the added benefit of locking, providing a child lock in case you're traveling with children and you don't want them getting into your brushes. This is a hardware parts container purchased at your local home improvement store. It kind of screws down. It even doesn't have to screw. It's got a good enough grip. Now with this one, this has an inturned lip that I actually had to take a knife and cut off because it was grabbing the brush and causing the bristles to buckle when I tried to remove the brush. And I don't want that. I want them to go in that way and come out that way very easily. And that was just an easy change to make. And so that made this a very nice option. It does have a split top here. It's not all that handy for brushes, except maybe for adding a little bit of air in there and keeping good ventilation. The good news, the strength about this type of container is it's larger than some of the others. And so it's going to handle, I think this is a 28 millimeter brush. It's going to be able to handle some of the larger handles that you might have. And obviously it's tall. And so there's not too many brushes that are going to be taller than this container. The disadvantage to this one is it's a little bit on the bulky side, and so when I travel I often carry multiple brushes, and they do these extra 5 millimeters around in some spots, 3 millimeters in other spots. It kind of adds up. However, it's tough. You're not going to break it by dropping or anything like that. Even this plastic is reasonably tough. In certain areas, it's very difficult to cause to flex. This one, of course, is super sturdy. It's hard. You know how these containers go. So sturdiness is going to be a strength there. However, sometimes I am bothered. When I'm gathering up my shaving gear, I don't want to have to empty my hands so that I can undo this to get the brush out. And then finally we have one that was probably made for brushes and probably other cylindrical things. There's probably some retail or wholesaler that sells this type of container, just a pop top cylindrical plastic container for displaying or selling any type of goods that obviously would fit that shape. And this is a terrific container for brushes, obviously, but I don't know where this one can be obtained. This may be one of the cheapest and best options if you're able to find a good source. That might be one of the best. Disadvantage, the size. You might be able to have brushes that are longer than this. Pop the top. This one does have a good bit of flex to it, and so it's not quite as strong, but with medium level travel, where your luggage isn't beaten up too much, I'm guessing this should be fine. Now here we have the Epsilon, and this is not branded with the Epsilon word anywhere, and so this could be Chinese made at some other place, and so you may be able to find it for less than buying it under the Epsilon brand. I got this one on Your Shaving, maybe yourshaving.com, I'm not sure. It's kind of a tight fit for this dense knot. You can see how it's a little tight. However, I mean, that would work. But obviously the weakness on this one is that there are definitely some thicker handles, 28 millimeter, 30 millimeter style, that wouldn't fit in here. I do have another brush that's a little taller, and one of the strengths of this one is you don't have to screw it down all the way. You can leave it unscrewed a little bit to accommodate any height brush. And because of the aggressiveness of this threading here, it only takes a couple of twists before it's either all the way on or all the way off. So it's not tedious to me. and those twists allow it, it's generally going to stay pretty set where you leave it. I was able to kind of push a little bit with repeated motions and have it drill down a little bit because of that aggressive, that very steep tilt. And so if you were concerned about it crushing a brush that was a little taller, then you could on your travels just have some Scotch tape or wrap a rubber band at the place you want it to stop. You know, something like that would be pretty easy. But I kind of like this type case a good bit. It has a hole in the top for ventilation. Always a good idea with shaving brushes, as we often have to travel with them slightly moist. You can try to get all the water out of them that you can, but they still end up having a little bit. Matter of fact, I might drill a few extra holes here. It wouldn't do any good to drill them on the side because of this. It would still, the air would still have to come around everything. I could drill them on the bottom down here too. So I'm very happy with this. At the rate I bought these, I think these are either $5 or $6. I can't really remember. I may have gotten a sale on them, so that may be the standard price. Maybe I paid cheaper. I'm not really sure, but I like it a lot. It's sturdy. I can squeeze it, and you can see it flex, but I'm providing a good bit of squeezing force there, and so I feel like there's not really too many trips that I would take where this would not be able to hold up properly. It would get there in good. It would not be crushed, is what I'm saying. So you'd really have to go into the outback and have a really rough kind of trip to where I'd be concerned about this losing its integrity. It kind of looks cheap at first just because it's kind of frosted plastic, but you know, it feels fairly solid, and I'm happy with it. And you could, if you've got something, there are some little plastic marks with the mold, you know, that held the stuff, and you can definitely file those down and kind of make it a little smoother. And I believe that has covered a lot of the options that I've used lately for transporting brushes. Yeah, I think we're good. There are certain spice containers at the Dollar Tree that can be used for certain brushes. So that's an option as well. Just empty out the spice and it'll fit down in there. Just take a brush with you or take a measurement so that you don't get one that's too small. But sometimes those will have a little lip on the end right before you get to the screw cap, and your bristles can get into that lip, and maybe that wouldn't be all that healthy for them. But definitely consider that if you're looking for a budget travel option for your brushes. All right. I think that'll do for this one, just showing off some of the different brush carrying ideas I've used in the past, and especially showing off the new item that I plan to use definitely in the future. All right, you guys take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope that this helps you out in some way. Take care.